One of the main points of focus that we like to touch on in this office is patient education, because a lot of the success of your treatment in the office comes down to how compliant you are outside of the office and doing some of the exercises and ergonomic changes that we've given you. So one of the recommendations that we would make would be a regular stretch, most particularly at the end of a long day after you've been sitting for a long time and those muscles are maintaining that lengthened position. So there's a couple stretches that we would give first for the hip extensors. And a bend straight forward is going to open up the hip extensors in through the glutes and a little bit of a stretch in through the lower back. This is an easy one that people can do right at their desk at work in order to get some relief as well. The other one for the hip flexor is going to induce, again, more of the extension that we're looking for. Typically, I would recommend a kneeling lunge for this situation, as it's going to be individual side by side and get a little bit more of a stretch for each one. She's going to keep her torso nice and straight and lunge forward, again, to induce the extension in through the knee and the hip that's touching the ground right now. So you can see as she's straightened out, she's adding some extension in through her pelvis here. So these stretches can be done multiple times a day, especially when you're feeling like you're in pain, but most particularly at the end of a long day when you've been sitting for a long time, it will be beneficial for you to re-loosen some of those tight contracted tissues. We also like to give a lot of ergonomic advice for patients. So you want to make sure that your office chair is high enough above the ground, that your computer isn't too close to you or too far from you or too high or too low. You also want to make sure that you're maintaining lumbar support in through the lower back when you're sitting for long periods, which we'll often recommend a bolster pillow for in order to maintain that arch while you're sitting. You technically want your pelvis to rock forward a little bit while you're sitting, as opposed to a bucket seat situation like an Adirondack chair would be, where your knees are coming way up past your hip. If you're a patient that suffers from some of these chronic issues, or you have lower back pain or sciatic issues, feel free to give our office a call at 585-594-0026, and we would love to help you out.